Hi everyone. I thought I would do a video. It's kind of a conclusion of my ultra running year. Because I do not have any more races on my calendar. I did have Mines of Spain 100K and I have decided to take a deferral for that race. And I will tell you a little bit more about that further along in the video. But first, I am going to tell you about my last race of the year, and it was the 12-hour race. It was called the Blood Run at the Good Earth Farm. And I ran it on a Saturday. Normally it's run on a Sunday, the 12-hour race. But since I was not able to do it on Sunday, the race director let me start with the 36-hour runners. So I started the race, my 12-hour race, with the 36-hour racers on Saturday morning at 6 o'clock. And I had never been in a 12-hour race before, and I really enjoyed it. First of all, I gotta tell you that the Good Earth Farm is charming. It's kind of like being in a fairy tale. There's all kinds of animals, and the race is run on a 1.6 mile course around the farm, and it's kind of run next to fields, and it's just picturesque, and you can see the animals in the fields, and there's a little stream that you cross over. And I'm not going to even tell you about the best part of the animal situation at this farm. I think you need to go there yourself and experience it. But a very neat race. And I have to say, the burritos, if you run this race, make sure you have a burrito. They're delicious. So anyway, I went into this race, and it was about a month after the Mahahe 50. And the whole month of August, I just felt run down. And I tried to do some running, and it just didn't go over that well. So before the 12-hour race, my longest run, I think, was maybe 6, 7, 8 miles. I don't remember. And so I wasn't really physically ready to go and run at the 12-hour race. So I decided that I would do it, but I would walk most of it. And that's what I did. And it went really good. I ended up, I would say I walked most of it. And then along the course, there was a couple gravel sections, so I would run those. And then there were some flat sections on the grass, and I would run those. And some downhills, and I would run those. And I'm not exactly sure what my pace was, but a lot of times I was seeing 16 minutes per mile to, I think my best was maybe a 14-minute mile. So I wasn't going fast, but I did finish the race with 43.2 miles, and I had my picture taken with T-Bone. He's the black Angus steer in the background in my photos. So I was not super sore from that race because I didn't run. Normally my quads are really sore, and I have a hard time getting up and down steps, and I didn't have any of that. So if you don't want to get sore or very sore, walk an ultra race. So that was my last race of the season. One more thing about that race, I met Ed the Jester, and he is an ultra runner that is going for the world record, I believe, in most wins at 100-mile races. And he did end up coming in first for the 36-hour race, and he won, so he got another win. I'm not sure how many miles he got. I'll look it up and try to put it down there in the comments. But he's a very interesting runner, very kind of a go for it kind of a guy, which a lot of ultra runners are. So it was very fun meeting him. And I gotta say, running, doing my 12-hour race with the 36-hour runners, it was really fun to see all of these runners out there gutting it out. And I did not see the last 24 hours of their race, but they were crushing it when I was out there with them. And when I saw the results of what they all did, I was blown away. So anyway, if you get a chance, this is a really fun race, and I highly recommend it. I got finished with a 12-hour race, and it was a short time after that I got sick, and I got COVID. I haven't been tested, but I'm pretty sure it was COVID. It started, it's a sneaky thing. It started with a sore throat, so I get sore throats a lot, and I didn't even think anything of it. I thought I was getting a cold. So I had the sore throat for a few days, and then I didn't feel bad at all other than the sore throat. And then one night I just erupted in a fever, and then I thought I had the flu. So I had a fever. It was pretty hot fever. I don't know what my temperatures got up to, but it was pretty hot. And then I was very achy, and yeah, that was the worst of it. And I still didn't know I had COVID at that point. But I had a pretty bad night of fever and aches. And then, okay, I'm back. My memory card was full, so I had to replace it. But I was talking about being achy and sore from the fever that lasted a couple days. And then I got a cold, and I had just a lot of fatigue. And I would say the worst thing about COVID to me was the fever and the achiness. And then the second thing is the fatigue. I thought I was good, and then I'd have a good half a day, and then the next morning I would wake up and just be not good for anything. So the fatigue was quite something. And then I lost my sense of smell, and that's when I was pretty sure that I had COVID. So thankfully I did not go out or do anything social. So I pretty much stayed home for 2 weeks, and yeah, it's quite something. Another thing, the third worst thing about having COVID for me was that I got this really bad metallic taste in my mouth. And that kind of developed around the same time when I lost my sense of taste. And it's just kind of very metallic tasting. And in the morning, I just couldn't wait to wake up and brush my teeth and try to get some of that metallic taste out of my mouth. So yeah, that was about the third worst thing. So COVID really isn't super fun. It's sort of like, for me anyway, it was sort of like having the flu and then having a bad cold on top of it. Because I had runny nose and just a lot of phlegm and a slight cough. And yeah, it was like the flu with a cold and a lot of fatigue. So I am doing better now, and I'm not contagious anymore, I guess. But I do have still a little bit of fatigue. So I haven't been doing any running, and I haven't been doing anything. I just don't have energy. So before the Good Earth 12-hour and before I got COVID, I had decided to take a deferral on the Mind to Spain 100K. So I took a deferral, which means I can run the race next year or the following year. I think at I think I have to pay, when I sign up, I'll have to pay a little bit. I think I got to 75% deferral. And yeah, I decided at the time that I took that deferral that I just wouldn't be ready for that race. Since the Madahe 50, I felt worn down. I wasn't able to run very much. And I just didn't want to go to Mine to Spain, to walk it, or, just not put in my best effort. The Blood Run 12-hour race was a race that was an hour away from me. But the Mine to Spain is a 6-hour drive, and I didn't want to go and not give it a really good effort. So I took a deferral, and I now don't have any races on the calendar. And I don't have any plans to do any races the end of the year. There is another local one at the beginning of November, and it's about another hour away, and I could run a 50K there, but we'll see. I still have the fatigue, and I just not ready to start running. I don't even know how it would go. So yeah, it was a very good year. I learned just a ton, and now I have 5 ultra races under my belt. I have a 30-mile, a 50K, a 12-hour, and 2 50-mile races. So I have just learned a lot. When I started my ultra running journey a couple years ago, I was always interested in working my way up and getting my fitness good enough so that I could actually do a 100-mile race. And now I'm not sure that I even want to do a 100-mile race. I really enjoy the 50-mile distance, and for me that takes a lot of training, and I see the training that a lot of these people are doing to be able to run these 100-mile races safely, and I'm a back of the packer, and for me to run a 100-mile race, I would just have to put a lot of training time in, just a lot of time. I'm not fast, so it's more hours for someone like me to safely run that 100-mile race in the way that I would want to try to do it. So I just don't know if that's something that I want to do anymore. Next year I am hoping to go back to North Dakota and run the Madahe 50 again. That race totally has my imagination, and I love the landscape out there, and I just dream about that race all the time. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to get back to North Dakota next year and run that race at least one more time and try to get my best time there ever. So I think next year the goal is to try to get as close to 15 hours as possible, and I think I can do it. That's all I have, and I just don't think you're going to be seeing too many more videos from me this year unless I decide to do that race in November and I start feeling better soon. But I think I'm going to have to almost start from scratch when I start running again, because I just have not, I just feel so out of shape, and it's only been about, I don't know, 4 weeks or so from the blood run race, but I just feel so out of shape. So anyway, we'll see. It's been a great year. Thank you all for coming along on my journey and supporting me with your comments and your likes. and I've had a blast. So hopefully I'll be seeing you again soon. We'll see. Thanks for watching.